The little German Shepherd puppy wouldn't stop chasing the officer, barking like his life depended on it, until she followed him, and what she discovered left her in tears. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The late afternoon sun filtered through the tall trees lining the quiet rural road as Officer Jenna cruised slowly in her patrol car. She glanced at the dashboard clock, thinking about how peaceful the day had been. But peace never lasted long in her line of work. Out of the corner of her eye, Jenna spotted something moving along the edge of the road. At first she thought it was a squirrel or maybe a stray cat, but when she slowed down, her heart skipped a beat. A tiny German Shepherd puppy was running after her cruiser, its small paws pounding the pavement, ears flopping with each stride. The puppy let out a high-pitched bark, almost like a plea, and it didn't stop chasing her car. Curiosity and concern washed over her as she gently pulled to the side of the road. The puppy skidded to a halt, panting, but its eyes wide and desperate locked onto hers. Jenna cracked her door open slowly, stepping out onto the quiet road. She had no idea that this tiny pup was about to change her entire day. Jenna knelt down, carefully, keeping her voice soft and calm. "Hey, little one, where did you come from?" she murmured. The German Shepherd puppy hesitated for a moment, before inching closer, its tiny body trembling with exhaustion and fear. Its fur was matted with dirt, and a few leaves clung to its back as if it had been running through the woods for a long time. She slowly extended her hand, and the puppy sniffed her fingers before giving the faintest wag of its tail. Then, to her surprise, it barked once, turned around and trotted a few steps away, only to stop and look back at her expectantly. It was as if it was trying to tell her something, urging her to follow. Jenna looked around, scanning the empty stretch of road. No houses were nearby, no other people in sight. A car passed by, the driver slowing down to watch the unusual scene. She could feel a knot of worry forming in her chest. Something wasn't right. "Okay, I'm coming," she said, standing up and brushing off her uniform. The puppy barked again, ears perked, then ran toward the tree and without another thought, Jenna followed her instincts, telling her this was no ordinary stray. The forest swallowed Jenna and the tiny German Shepherd puppy in a haze of green and gold. Jenna moved carefully, her boots crunching twigs beneath her, while the puppy darted ahead with surprising energy for its small frame. Every few steps it would pause, glance back to make sure she was following, then sprint forward again. Her pulse quickened. She had followed plenty of trails in her years on the force, but never one led by a desperate puppy. The deeper they went, the quieter the forest became. Only the rustling leaves and the occasional distant bird broke the silence. Jenna's hand instinctively hovered near her radio. Whatever lay ahead, she needed to be prepared. Suddenly, the puppy stopped near a cluster of fallen branches and let out a sharp, insistent bark. It pawed at the ground, whining, then circled a dense thicket of bushes. Jenna's heart pounded as she approached. Carefully, she pushed the branches aside, and her breath caught in her throat. There, half hidden beneath the brush, was a tattered blanket and a small battered backpack. The scene screamed of urgency, of someone leaving in a hurry, or worse, someone in trouble. Jenna's instincts flared, and she crouched down to examine the items, while the puppy whimpered beside her, its eyes pleading. "Who were you trying to show me, little one?" she whispered, a chill running down her spine. Jenna's hands trembled slightly as she lifted the blanket. Beneath it, she found a small stuffed bear, its fur worn and one ear nearly torn off. Her chest tightened. This wasn't just someone's abandoned belongings. This was a child's. The puppy whined and pawed at the ground again, tugging at the edge of the blanket with its teeth as if to insist she look closer. A sudden rustle from behind the thicket made Jenna freeze. Her training kicked in and she carefully moved toward the sound, hand resting on her sidearm just in case. Slowly, she parted the dense leaves, and what she saw sent a jolt straight to her heart. A little girl, no older than 5, was curled up against the base of a tree, her face pale and strewn with dirt. The girl blinked weakly as the sunlight touched her face. "Mommy," she murmured, her voice barely audible. Jenna crouched down immediately, softening her tone. "Hey, sweetheart. You're safe now. I'm here to help you." The puppy bounded over to the child, nuzzling her cheek as if to reassure her. The girl's tiny hand trembled as she reached out, gripping Jenna's sleeve. I couldn't find her," she whispered before her voice broke into sobs. Jenna felt tears prick her own eyes. This wasn't just a rescue, it was a race against time. She grabbed her radio, with one hand already calling for urgent medical support while the puppy pressed closer to the little girl, refusing to leave her side. Jenna's voice was steady, but urgent as she called into her radio. "This is Officer Jenna Hale. I've located a missing child in the North Forest near Ridgeway Trail. I need paramedics and backup immediately." Static crackled back, followed by the dispatcher confirming help was on the way. The little girl shivered violently, her lips pale. Jenna quickly shrugged off her uniform jacket and wrapped it around the child, kneeling to meet her eyes. "You're going to be okay, sweetie. Can you tell me your name?" she asked softly. "Mia," the girl whispered, clutching the jacket tightly. The puppy licked her face, making her smile weakly through her tears. Jenna's heart twisted. This tiny dog had been her guardian angel. Within minutes, the faint wail of sirens cut through the forest. Jenna waved to guide the paramedics as they rushed over with a stretcher in thermal blankets. One medic knelt beside Mia, checking her vitals with gentle efficiency. "She's dehydrated and cold, but I think she'll be okay," the medic said, glancing at Jenna. Relief washed over her like a tidal wave. As they prepared to carry Mia out of the woods, the puppy barked and tried to climb onto the stretcher, refusing to be left behind. Jenna scooped him up in her arms, holding him close. "Don't worry, little hero," she murmured. "You're coming too." For the first time that day, Jenna felt hope bloom in her chest. Against all odds, this tiny puppy had saved a life. The Ambulance doors closed with a soft thud, as the paramedics worked to stabilize Mia. Jenna sat in the back, cradling the puppy, who refused to leave the little girl's side. Mia's small fingers rested lightly on its fur, and for the first time, her trembling eased. When they arrived at the hospital, doctors rushed Mia into the emergency department for fluids and a thorough checkup. Jenna stayed in the waiting room with the puppy curled in her lap, his warm weight a reminder of the miracle they'd witnessed. Minutes felt like hours until finally, a nurse emerged with a gentle smile. "She's stable now. You can see her soon." Moments later, Mia's mother came running through the hospital doors, her face strewn with tears. She nearly collapsed into Jenna's arms. "Thank you," she sobbed. "I thought I'd lost her forever." Jenna led her to the room where Mia was resting, the puppy perched on the edge of the bed. The moment the mother saw her daughter safe and smiling, weakly, she broke into tears again, hugging her child tightly. The nurse explained that Mia had wandered off, trying to find her missing puppy after a door was left open. "If it weren't for this little guy," Jenna said, stroking the puppy's head, "things could have ended very differently." The mother knelt down, hugging the puppy close. "You saved her, our little angel." The puppy wagged its tail proudly, and Jenna couldn't help but smile, feeling her heart swell with warmth. The next morning, Mia was sitting up in bed, her cheeks a little rosier, her tiny hands clutching the puppy to her chest. The little German shepherd wagged his tail happily, snuggling closer into her embrace. Jenna entered the room quietly, and Mia's eyes lit up. "Officer Jenna," she said in a small but joyful voice. "He stayed with me all night." Jenna smiled, feeling her heart melt at the sight. "Well, he's your hero. He wasn't going to let you go through this alone." Mia's mother approached Jenna, her eyes brimming with gratitude. "The doctor said, if she had been out there much longer, it could have been fatal. I can't thank you and this brave puppy enough." Her voice cracked as she spoke, and she hugged Jenna tightly. The little puppy barked happily, as if sensing the love filling the room. Jenna crouched down beside Mia. "You've got a very special friend here," she said. "He's more than a pet. He's a guardian."